The whole financial system has changed. We see crypto enter the markets with a boom and a bust cycle. A lot of cryptos in 2026 are probably going to zero or at least close to it. Only the few of the big dogs, the top dogs led by real systems, led by real entrepreneurs, will be able to make it in 2026. So on today's video, we're gonna dive into what I have learned over the last few years in crypto, and hopefully it will impart some wisdom upon you, a new crypto investor or an OG investor, and open our eyes more to about what's actually happening in cryptocurrency. And then we'll also talk about the letter that Larry Fink has just dropped about the financial system. And this letter will give us an insight into what's actually about to happen over the next several years. So this is kind of funny, but crypto obviously is full of scammers. There's great entrepreneurs, okay? And then there's bad entrepreneurs. And then sitting right in the middle is scammers, grifters, and people who are opportunists, okay? So when we focus in on what's actually happening in crypto, where we actually want to put our funds somewhere to get a return, we should be looking only at the big dogs, and namely number one, that is Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin essentially doesn't have a founder to manipulate it to sell us out, okay? Token distribution is on schedule. You got the 4-year halving, right? We just seen that happen. And after the halving happens, we usually get a pump in Bitcoin that following year. And we've seen that happen again. Bitcoin has cracked 120,000 this year. I think 124. That's a positive. 5 years ago, Bitcoin was under 20,000. Now it's sitting around 90,000. So Bitcoin cannot be manipulated by a founder who wants to change how many tokens are available for purchase, or they can't flood the market. Bitcoin is on a schedule. It is sound money. It is digital gold, and it has proven that. So I would say focus on Bitcoin, y'all. Become a Bitcoin maxi is the best thing I think we can all do in 2026 and moving forward. Now, let's talk about some of these other blockchains. So you got Ethereum, which I still think is a great asset. Most of the funds and money is on Ethereum, right? Then we have Solana. Solana has a lot of criticism about downtime, about, pumping all of these meme coins, but we do have to recognize Solana is the retail market of choice, and people are launching on Solana constantly. It is always getting volume. So we have to keep our eyes on Solana. XRP is the next one. It has an army, literally the XRP army. You can't even say anything about them online that's bad, and that's good. We've seen when Trump got into office, XRP, along with a few other cryptos, pumped hundreds of percents. XRP also pulled back this year, but it has kept its level. So from December of last year to December now, XRP is still up about 200%. That pullback was manageable, so we have to pay attention to that. And then I would say Binance Chain, Binance Coin, connected to CZ over there at Binance. That coin has also held up really well. So if we want to focus on the big dogs, I think that's the best thing we can do. We got Bitcoin, we got Ethereum, we got Solana, we got XRP, we got Binance Coin Chain. Okay, and then the next runners up is Hedera's, really nice. It didn't hold up as well as XRP. We have Stellar Lumens, didn't also hold up price-wise as well as XRP. However, those two chains have a lot of traction. Now let's talk about the grifts. So you got coins like Aster, these perpetual future coins. You got a whole bunch of meme coins, a lot of coins that are got the AI narrative. You have base ecosystem. They're dropping tons of random coins. You got coins in the Solana ecosystem, Coins are everywhere. It's too many coins. Pump.fun and other platforms that are just launching them daily. It's becoming ridiculous, okay? So if you put your money into coins that are like, you find it on Twitter and they're saying, hey, it can 100x, 1000x, go into billion, I would suggest you just stay away. Don't try to put all your eggs in those baskets. That's how you're gonna get burnt. Go look at the charts on CoinMarketCap all year. That's what we have seen. Pump and dump after pump and dump. So we have entrepreneurs that are great entrepreneurs, right? We'll say like the guys over there at Ripple. Ripple, they've been doing a great job. They're buying businesses, they're buying companies, they're doing real business. Then we have wannabe entrepreneurs, which you can respect them. They're trying to make something happen, right? They're trying their best and they're being honest. Then you have the straight up grifters and the scammers. These are people who see gullible investors, gullible people who are trying to come up fast, and they're launching these random products like creator coins. They're launching different tokens for platforms that are under development. Everything is based on hype. That's something we have to fade in 2026. We have to try to avoid that as much as possible. And that's a lesson I learned over the years. If the yield is like, oh, come get you 60, 80% yield, this is how you loop a token and do it. Be chill on that. Be chill on that. DeFi is solid. I always talk about this to y'all, but USDC pairs, you got pairs with HBAR USDC, Solana USDC. That's what you want to look for. Stay away from all that other stuff. Right? And this whole social media, if you're really a creator out here making money and making things happen, you might as well stick to YouTube, stick to TikTok, and stick to Instagram. You can get paid over there and you don't have to sell creator coins and content coins to people to try to make a dollar. Stick to the traditional new era models of advertising. I think that's the best way. So that's what I want to say. Those are some lessons learned. Lesson learned, put most of your money, not financial advice, but this is what I'm doing. Put most of my money into Bitcoin. And if I want to put some crypto money somewhere else, I'm going to look at Ethereum. I'm going to look at XRP. I'm going to look at Solana because they have stood the test of crypto time, especially Bitcoin. Institutions love it. Global governments love it. Bitcoin is that dog. And then the other 4 or 5 cryptos that I just named. And then my 2 honorable mentions again is Stellar Lumens and Hedera. For all my Algorand people out there, I still rock with Algorand. I still hold Algorand, and I do want the price to appreciate more. Fundamentally, Algorand's looking great. However, price action has not been solid over the years. So I think in 2026 and moving forward, we should be focusing on getting nice returns, putting our capital where it makes the most sense. And if you want to allocate a little small something into altcoins, just make sure you do your research. Make sure that is a good entrepreneur or at least an honest entrepreneur leading those projects and platforms. Now, let's get to Larry Fink. Larry Fink's 2025 annual chairman's letter to investors. And I thought this was real important, so I'm going to summarize a little bit for y'all. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink just released his annual letter, and this one is different. For years, the focus was ESG, climate, and DEI. This year, the language is almost completely gone. Okay, so Forbes covered this directly, noting that Fink's 2025 letter omits climate change, ESG, and DEI entirely, marking a clear pivot towards expanding access to capital markets and private investing. This is not an accident. This is a signal. And then here's the breakdown. Fink says the traditional 60-40 stock bond portfolio is outdated. I agree. People are now adding Bitcoin in there, and they're getting away from bonds and the growth stocks, right? He highlighted private markets, infrastructure, and technology as the next growth engines. We got AI, we got space, we got data centers, and a whole list of other things that are looking great. He emphasizes democratizing access, not ideology. And this part, democratizing access, is where Bitcoin, this is where blockchain technology comes in. This is tokenization. We see Ondo Finance, which Larry Fink is one of the big funders in. He in that company per se, Ondo Finance is tokenizing Tesla stock, Microsoft, Apple, all the big dogs like Nvidia, and they're opening the access to the whole world. And that's a big part of what they're talking about. Not an ideology, it's actually access. And then the next thing coming is going to be private markets, where we will be able to invest in the OpenAI, SpaceX, those type of companies. And he hints at tokenization and financial innovation lowering barriers. And that's what I just broke down to y'all. We got the USDC coins, Tether, stable coins spreading across the world. So let's connect it to the bigger picture. When the largest asset manager in the world shifts the narrative, you should pay attention. This aligns with what we've been seeing a new financial system forming where ownership, access, and settlement are changing. The biggest risk isn't volatility, it's being positioned for a system that's already being replaced. Now hear me, the dollar this year alone is down over 10%. In the last 100 years, it's down over 90-something%. The Fed right now is printing $40 billion a month to buy bonds, to put money into the market. And what does that cause? That causes inflation. Go to the grocery store, all prices up. It doesn't matter what Trump said. You can look for yourself and you can see. So we got to think about this clearly. What can we all do? The next thing is crypto isn't an asset, it's infrastructure. I already mentioned XRP. We're doing foreign exchange. XRP is working in capital markets. You got Stellar Lumens, economic data. You got Stellar Lumens, Chainlink, putting data on chain, right? They're helping upgrade the SWIFT system. JP Morgan launching coins, big banks, USDC is public company now. All of that matters. So capital markets are evolving, not disappearing. Crypto networks equals settlement rails, not hype. Tokenization lowers barriers to ownership. TradFi and crypto isn't competition, it's integration. So let that sink in. And then when we're talking about those infrastructures, again, we got Bitcoins, Ethereum, XRP, Hedera, and then we got tokenization. Wall Street is betting on blockchain. Real assets are tokenized, which are stocks, bonds, real estate. We got faster settlements, lower costs, global access. BlackRock already tokenizing funds. Blockchains becoming the back end of finance. Ondo Finance, y'all should go research that one or watch one of my other videos. It's all happening in real time. Why institutions care about utility coins? The ones that I keep naming to y'all are what we call utility coins. These are called layer ones, especially layer ones made in America, in the United States. Pay attention to those. If you don't know, now you know. It's the speed, it's the cost, it's the compliance matter. Remember, USDC even has a euro, and they have all of the MiCA requirements. That's for Europe. They have the requirements with the Genius Act in the United States, and they have a lot of partners. So we have an utility over speculation. As I said in the beginning of this video, speculation is dead, scammers are gone, grifters are out of here. Let's stick to the things that really actually work. Cross-border payments are broken. Obviously they are. However, you got infrastructures like Algorand, from my Algorand people. Big shout out to y'all. I talked to y'all about a platform called HisabPay, right? HisabPay deals with payment infrastructure, cross-border payments, all of that type of stuff. We got Western Union working on that as well. PayPal, they're all are now using blockchain technology. So again, XRP, liquidity plus cross-border settlement, XLM, remittances and access, Algorand, tokenization and compliance, friendly design. Institutional adoption doesn't look loud, it looks boring and efficient. And then finally, last big topic I got for y'all is the quiet shift from banks to blockchains. This isn't anti-bank, it's a re-architecture. Banks still custody, comply, and manage risk. JP Morgan ain't going nowhere. They're just introducing or integrating blockchain. You heard the CEO talk about this a lot lately. Blockchains handle settlement and transparency. Facts. Stablecoin bridge, TradFi and DeFi. Retail users get faster and cheaper access. So when we think about those ETFs that launch, if you go to your Robinhood app right now, if you open it up, it will say, especially if you're holding crypto, it's going to say stake Solana, stake Ethereum. How's that possible? So these funds are putting ETFs out there. You buy into the ETF fund. They take those funds and actually hold that underlying asset like the Solanas, and then they'll go stake it on the blockchain. If you go look at Bitmine, you're purchasing Bitmine, they're taking that money, they're buying Ethereum, then they're staking it, and you are now receiving a yield like a dividend. This is happening right now. So again, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, Hedera, they all have ETFs, okay? Retail users get faster, cheaper access. And at the end of the day, Larry Fink is talking about democratizing investing. Fewer middlemen, more access. And the system isn't collapsing, it's being rewritten. And that's the message I got for y'all for 2026. Let's recap a little bit. Me personally, and you should consider, stick with the big dogs, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? XRP. And then we got made in America utility coins. These are layer 1 blockchains. Follow what ETFs are doing. Follow what the big dogs are doing. And let's fade the scammers. New projects that drop, let's scrutinize the hell out of them, okay? Let's make sure that if you want to get in this game dropping a token, we're going to be on your head, we're going to be asking questions, and we're going to be real stingy with our money because our money is in safer places. That's the type of thinking. Then we got Larry Fink's 2026 letter to shareholders, democratizing the financial markets, blockchain technology. That's the message for 2026. If you like what you heard on today's video, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you in 2026. Peace.
Passive income, gold in my dental. Thank God for my mental. Investor fundamentals, told my girl it was simple.